Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Your Stocks, coming live from the CNBC-TV18 Motilal Oswal studios. I'm Vinny Motiwala. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. A look at the markets right now. The Nifty is managing to hold on to 26,600, and just around that level, it's what it's managing to trade at. So 100-point uptick for the Nifty 50 as of now. Good recovery from the day's lowest point. In the opening, it opened in the red, and then look at the recovery, right? So 26,000, no complaining there. Nifty Bank, that also has recovered from the day's lowest point. It was trading in the red and now managing to hold on to gains of almost 0.2%. That also is almost in the day's highest point. So actually, it's come off a bit the day's highest point, whether you look at the Nifty and Nifty Bank, but a very good recovery is what we're seeing from the day's lowest point. IT continues to be the top sectoral gainer today, up almost 3% in the trading session. So that is what we'll be keeping an eye out on. And the broader end of the market is also doing well in the trading session in terms of a recovery. So yes, that is what we're seeing, good recovery for the market. As of now, Nifty mid-cap, 0.2% of gain is what is there for the Nifty mid-cap. Small cap is seeing a bit of a decline. So yes, that versus the mid-cap, small cap is not doing that well. It had recovered, but now again back at the today's lowest point, 0.4% of decline. On that note, let's pull up that advanced decline ratio, right? Because as of 12/31, when I'd last checked, the declines were still more than the advances. As of now, again, declines are still more than the advances, and that gap again seems to be increasing between that green line and the red line. So that's what we'll be keeping an eye out on. But this is a show where we solve all your stock related queries, and we're going to be doing just that today with our experts, Somil Mehta, head of alternate research capital market strategy at Mirae Asset Sharekhan, as well as Astha Jain, research analyst at Securities, to answer all those doubts that you all have sent us. Somil as well as Astha, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. Somil, I do want to ask one question on the market before we get started with those queries, because 26,000, every time we touch it or just around that level, and then we see again a bit of a correction, right? When can one see that steady performance, and how important is this 26,000 level now for us to move forward in terms of an up move?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to everyone. Absolutely, I have the same question actually. But yes, I think the markets are still consolidating in that range, taking resistance at 26,000 levels. But I think the trend still remains positive, and the sectors are doing really well. Bank Nifty is definitely doing really well. I'll be expecting a breakout anytime in the next couple of days, and I'll be expecting a target of around 26,300, 26,200 levels, which is the all-time highs. In the medium term, even above 26,900, 26,800 levels. So these are the levels I'm looking out for. But yes, I'll be looking for immediate breakout within the next couple of days. And the support is around 25,800 and 25,700. So yes, buy on decline shift the strategy, and Bank Nifty is anyways outperforming.
Absolutely. Okay, surely we'll be keeping an eye out on that. Though today Bank Nifty is not outperforming, Nifty 50 is outperforming, but otherwise Bank Nifty has been doing well. But yes, keep an eye out on those levels over there that Somil did mention. But let's get started with those queries, right? We have Aswini who's writing to us from Chennai. She's holding 500 shares of Biocon. Price is 422 rupees per share. Wants to know the short-term target for Biocon. Astha, good afternoon. Biocon, what is your view coming in here? Biocon biologic side of the business has been doing well. We had seen some reports that came in as well in terms of Biocon and Biocon biologics. So what are you keeping an eye out on in terms of the short-term view for Biocon?
So, hi, good afternoon to everyone. Short-term view is not positive because there are reasons behind it. First of all, what we have seen in the growth of the company's result was mainly due to some product launches. But what needs to be seen is that despite such product launches, company was not able to show a strong boost in their margins. So now the question arises whether these launches are really helping company enough to boost their profitability as well as margins. So that is a question. Another thing is that, in fact, the company tries to pay its debt also from the QIP proceeds. So, overall, I think we really need to see how these new product launches help the company in posting a good set of numbers going ahead. So, short term, I might feel that there may be some more downside which can be seen in the stock. But in the long term, I think the stock can move upwards provided if the upcoming results, that is Q3 FY26, will be on the higher side. So idea here is to wait for at least these results to come in. So I am recommending a hold on this counter with the price target of 440, although I'm giving a little more higher price targets from the current level. But I still believe that in the long term, definitely that will yield results. So just stay invested in this counter for the long term. Immediate target can be set at around 440 to 450 odd levels.
Okay, keep an eye out on those levels over there. Long term for Biocon is a better strategy than short term. That's Astha's view. Somil, what's your view for Biocon, right? Last 1 month, the stock has gone up 12%. YTD performance in terms of a move, 11% uptick. What are we keeping an eye out on in terms of short term as well as long term levels?
In the very short term, I agree. It's not looking good at this point of time. So the buy on decline should be the strategy in the medium to long term outlook. Now, the levels to watch out here on the downside would be around 405 in the very short term. But in the medium term outlook, to 380, 385 would be the levels I'll look out for. And over there, I'll be revisiting the stock. I think that will be the right time to go ahead and buy the stock. And my targets are above 465, 470 levels. So yes, buy in medium-term outlook and in the long-term outlook.
Okay, medium, long term, positive, but otherwise short term, not too exciting. Okay, let's move on to the next query. We have Sandeep, who's writing to us from Hyderabad. He's holding 1,000 shares of NSDL. This is at a price of 1,050. Currently, the stock is at 1,139 rupees. They're making a profit on this one. Wants to know if he can accumulate the stock at the current levels for the next 1 to 2 years. Astha, your view?
Yeah, view is positive. Definitely, accumulation can be done in this counter at the lower levels. Although I'm keeping my price target at the initial level at around 1,200 to 1,250. Now, talking about the fundamentals of this counter, fundamental seems to be okay because what we have seen is that definitely these revenue growth is helping the company in showing good profitability. And in fact, what we have seen that the management is also expecting some strong numbers going ahead. So their guidance is positive on the back of more retail participation in the capital markets. In fact, the digital adoption is what the management is doing in order to, raise the business prospects. And I think all these efforts which are taken by the management definitely will help the company in posting great set of numbers because ultimately these are the numbers who can drive the stock prices up and down. So idea here is to stay invested in this counter with the price target of 1,200 to 1,250 at the initial levels.
Okay, keeping an eye on those levels over there for NSDL. And Somil, your view, can they look to accumulate more? And is this a correct level or maybe you expect some bit of a correction before it runs up?
I think the chart looks positive. I don't have much data, but the chart looks positive, and I'm definitely positive on the capital market theme, especially in the exchange-related stocks. NSDL, very specifically, I think the next level to watch out in the medium-term outlook would be around 1325, which is the previous swing high, and I'll be expecting a target of that probably in the 6 months to 1 year time frame, medium to long term. On the downside, there'll be very crucial support around 1,050 levels. So accumulate would be my strategy.
Accumulate would be the strategy. So yes, there's no doubt about that. And the viewer can also look to accumulate. Let's move on to the next query. Then we have Parag, who's writing to us from Navi Mumbai. He's holding 100 shares of ICICI Lombard General Insurance. Price is 661 rupees, making a good amount of profit on this one. Should they continue to hold or maybe time to book out some bit of a profit? Astha, your view?
View is positive, definitely. An idea here is to stay invested if he can wait for a medium to long term perspective with a price target of somewhere at around 2250 to 2300. Now, talking about the fundamentals of this counter, what we have seen a strong set of a number. In fact, if you see the trajectory of last 5 years, their earning growth has been very solid. I think it is more than 20% if I take up the last 5 years. So strong earning growth is what we are seeing. And I believe that this earning trajectory will continue to grow in the manner of around 10 to 12% in the coming years. Not 20%, but yes, 10 to 12% CAGR is what we are expecting for this company. So definitely we are liking the company's prospects and hence recommending a hold with a price target of 2280 to 2300.
Okay. That's the view there on the fundamentals. On the technicals, Somil, what should the viewer do right now, right? Because they're making good amount of profit. Then are you being too greedy or should you continue to hold for higher levels?
I think I would continue to hold the stock. It is forming a small triangle pattern, and I'll be expecting this pattern to break on the upside. My view is positive, absolutely positive. On the upside, my targets would be around 2150, and then I think on the upside 2290 would be the next target. But I would hold on if the trader is a positional trader only. If it is a short-term trade, I think this is the right time to book profits. But in the medium-term outlook, great targets on the upside.
Okay. So continue to hold ICICI Lombard. That's the view coming in there. But on that note, we're going to slip into a very short break. But here's some good news coming in for our viewers. India's business news leader is now a click away, introducing CNBC TV18's all-new app. Get instant access to breaking news, in-depth articles, and financial world updates at your fingertips. Download the CNBC TV18 app now from the Apple Store, Google Play Store, or you can just scan the QR code on your screens. Welcome back to Your Stocks on CNBC TV18. Now let's keep it going with those stock-related queries for the day. We have KS Rao, who's writing to us from Andhra Pradesh. He says that he wants to invest in Eternal and Nestle, and he's asking how should he look at that? Should he invest at this level for both these stocks? Astha, firstly, your view, Eternal as well as Nestle India.
Yes, Eternal is looking good to us. So we recommend a buy on this counter with a price target of 330 at the initial level. Now, talking about the fundamentals of this counter is what we are seeing, that their food delivery segment is showing very strong recovery. In fact, their quick commerce business is giving very good results on the basis of the strong execution capabilities. In fact, what we are seeing that they're increasing efficiency with the restaurant supply system also, with which this company is doing. So overall, all these segments are performing very strong, and we believe that this counter is well poised to move till the level of 330 in the medium term. However, in the long term, price target can be set at around 350 odd levels. So yes, one can make a buy for this counter. Now, talking about Nestle, Nestle is also looking good to us. First of all, would like to give the price target, which is at around 1400 to 1450 odd levels. Talking about the fundamentals, yes, FMCG counter is looking good to us. And what we are seeing that now this commodity-led inflation will definitely going to show some sort of recovery or a fall in FY second half of the FY26. So definitely that will help the company in posting good side of a numbers. And in fact, the revenue growth in the domestic market is also looking very strong. So Nestle is also looking good to us. So both these counters, one can make a fresh entry also. Price target for Nestle is 1400 to 1450 at the initial levels.
Okay, keeping an eye out on those levels over there. But what's your view on both these stocks, Somil? Eternal as well as Nestle?
Absolutely positive on both the stocks. My favorite pick would be Nestle at this point of time. Eternal, a short-term correction we've seen, but I think this is a buying opportunity. On the downside, 280, 285 is a very good level, a very crucial support. We've seen a gap as well in that area, and a weekly gap, which is a very good sign. And 285 would be a very good level to buy the stock. I would not suggest in the short term, but in the medium to long term, my target should be way above 360, 370 levels in the medium term outlook. So buy in the in a positional trade, not in a short term trade.
Okay. Keeping an eye out on that for Eternal as well as Nestle. Let's move on to the next query for today. We have Love Kumar, who's writing to us from Nagpur. He's holding 200 shares of ABB India. Price is 6,300 rupees per share. He wants to know if he should continue to hold, sell, or average at these levels. Astha, your view.
I'm just recommending hold at this point of a time rather than going for average, because I believe maybe we can see some more downside from here. So chances or the opportunity for doing average will be definitely, will he can avail those opportunity at the lower level. Now talking about the fundamentals of this counter, what we are seeing is that poor set of a number, and that is mainly due to the low or a less order inflow. I think the order inflow, if I'm wrong, if I'm right with my memory, it was lower than 3%. So the order inflow was lower, and that is why we have seen the company was not able to perform. In fact, the raw material cost was also high. But going ahead, now they are doing certain sort of capex. So I think those capex will definitely yield results in the long term. But yes, in the short term, we are not very much positive on this counter. So recommending a hold as well as buying at the lower level for the price target of 5,300 to 55.
Okay, and your view, Somil, coming in for ABB India, hold, sell, average, I know is not something you normally say, but hold or sell, what is it?
Um, I'm negative on the stock. I would definitely a little negative. It's been below 200 daily moving average since December 2024, and it's been struggling to go above 20 and 40 daily moving average in the very short term. My targets on the downside would be around 4,600, 4,500 levels. So that would be a time to revisit the stock to buy again. But at this point of time, exit would be my strategy or avoid.
Okay. Avoid is also a word coming in there from Somil over there. But let's move on to the next query. Now, obviously, Research Jain from Mohali is writing to us and he's asking about Groww. Now, this stock has done wonderfully since it's listed just last week. He's got 70 shares of Groww. Price is 148 rupees per share. The stock is trading at 169. Today is that one day when we're seeing that fall coming in after so many days of gain, right? So, Astha, your view for Groww?
Yes, we have a coverage on this IPO. We had a coverage on this IPO. We recommended subscribe also, but the kind of return it has given, in fact, we are also very much surprised. So now what I believe, when the IPO came at a price band of 95 to 100, it was at a price to earning multiple of 41. From there, we have seen a sharp rise in the prices. So now this price to earning multiple is going beyond 60, 65, which I think was the ideal one. So right now, what my belief is, yes, this company is, they have got a very strong hold. They are one of the top brokerages in the India, and have got a very strong client base. But the kind of valuations now it is quoting, it seems to be on the higher side. My idea here is, although because right now on the fundamental basis, it is very difficult to judge exact number. But what I believe, that this stock should not fall more than 150 to 148 odd levels. These are my calculations on the basis of fundamental. So right now, what I believe is that either he can book certain profit, or he can remain invested for the longer term. But yes, we believe that this stock has a potential to fall more from here, because what we feel is that 150 to 147 are the levels where till where the stock can fall from the current level. So if horizon is long term, then remain invested. If the horizon is short term, then book some profit and remain invested in the partial quantity.
Okay, that's a view there. Somil, I know there's nothing to in terms of charts, but would you like to give your opinion, or would you like to hold your opinion right now for Groww?
I think my opinion is positive, whatever I've heard. But the short-term support would be around 165, and the next support would be around 152. So these are the two support levels, and I think buy on decline should be my strategy.
Okay. Let's move on to the next query then. We have Uma Kapoor, who's writing to us from Mumbai, holding 150 shares of REC. Price is 491 rupees per share. Is it worth holding this stock now and stay invested in this one? Your view on this one, Astha?
Yes, one can remain invested in this counter, although what we have seen, that the loan growth was not very encouraging. There were reasons behind it due to some prepayments or the repayments this company has done. So there was a muted loan growth which we have seen in this counter. But going ahead, we believe that definitely this counter will post very stronger numbers. There were certain reasons due to the numbers, due to which the numbers were not as good in the quarter gone by. Going ahead, we believe definitely they will be able to maintain their margin. So a hold is recommended from our side with a price target of 385 to 390.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on that. And what should the viewer do, Somil, your view? REC, should they stay invested?
I think should stay invested. Already there's a correction, and there are multiple supports around 350 levels. So I think 350 level is very crucial for this stock, and I'll be expecting this stock to continue consolidating around this level. But I'm not seeing much, sharp corrections downside. In fact, on the upside, in the very short term, I'll be expecting a target of 400, which is a very good sign. And 200 daily moving average is around 400 levels. So that would be my target in the short term. And the in the medium to long-term outlook, I think the next target would be around 520, 540 levels. But that will take time. In the very short term, yes, positive right now.
Okay, thanks so much for that view there on REC, and thanks so much Astha as well as Somil for joining us on the show today as always and helping our viewers answer all those stock related queries. But with that, viewers, we're absolutely out of time on this edition of Your Stocks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, you can always send us your queries on that email address that is flashing at the top of the screen for you all. So keep sending them us and we'll solve them on every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Last set of trade is still left. Nifty is around the 26,000 mark. Is it going to be sustaining? We'll watch out for that. And for that, you have closing bell up next.